Alright, tape one. Sorry I can't get the 2020 version of the Emergency Response Guidebook, but it's used for all first responders, and usually their goal is to have one with each for one of these books with each for first responders. Okay, we're gonna read. This is U.S. Department of Transportation Pipeline Hazard Safety Administration, and we're gonna do selective reading out of this, what I think is fine. All right, shipping documents. Shipping documents are synonymous and can be found as road kept in the motor of the vehicle, rail kept in possession crew member, aviation kept in position aircraft pilot, marine kept in the hold or bridge of the vessel. Shipping documents provide vital information regarding hazard material dangers to initiate protective actions. Information, 4-digit number, the UN or the NA, go to the yellow pages. Proper shipping name, go to the blue pages. Hazard class and division number and material packaging group, emergency response telephone number, information described for the hazard material entered on attached shipping document. So it shows your emergency contact, telephone number, hazard class division, the UN ID number, the shipping name, and the packaging group. Example of placards or panels shown with the ID numbers shows a 4-digit ID number plus the placard color and shape. Adjacent or original orange panel at the end shows the size of the cargo tank. So there's also your numbered placard and a placard with original orange number on the UN. Alright, how to use this guidebook. An approach incident, uphill, upwind, and uphill and upstream. Stay clear of all spills, vapors, fumes, smokes, and potential hazards. Warning, do not use flowchart if more than one hazard or more material dangers are involved. Immediately call the appropriate emergency response agency and telephone number listed inside the back of the cover. Alright, so we have divisions 11, 12, 13, 15, use guide 112. Divisions 14, 16, use guide 114. Do you have explosive placards for them? That would be, if you did, yes, they would be orange. And then no, do you have the UN number? If no, then do you have the name of the material? If yes, you search the material blue pages. If you do have the number, UN number and ID number, search the ID of the yellow pages and determine the guide number. Do you see the placard label? Refer to pages 8 and 9. Do you see a rail car, rail trailer? Use pages 10 through 13. And if no, use guide 111 and goes back to the UN ID number. Read the flowchart once, the number of the material, accurate UN ID number, and if you determine the guide number, use the P. It has a P next to it. The material may have sulfur, violent polymerization. And is the material highlighted in green? No. Use the appropriate orange guide. Yes. Is the material on fire? Orange, use appropriate orange guide, evacuation distance then. And if yes, the material is on fire, protect it from downwind direction, table 1, residual materials. If no, if the material is not on fire, isolation, protective action, distances, and consult the appropriate orange guidebook. If the product and the references when spilled in water cause table 2 list of the generated gases for information purposes, do not use water extinguish agent. That's in green. Before an emergency, become familiar with this guidebook. Local emergency telephone numbers, contractors, rail companies, federal, state, provisional agencies, and others. Alright, shipping documents, how to use this guidebook, local emergency telephone number, safety precautions, notification, request technical information, hazard classification system, introduction, table marking label, placards, table marking label, placards, initial response guide to on scene, rail car identification chart, railroad trailer identification chart, global harmonized system classification labels, chemicals, head identification numbers display on some intermodule containers, pipeline, transportation, ID number, index, name of the material, index, guides, introducing gain tables, protective action, decision factors to consider, protective actions, background table 1, initial isolation, protective action distances. Table 1, initial isolation, protective active distances, water reactive materials with product, toxic gases. Table 3, initial isolation, protective action distance of a large build of different quantities of 6 TIH or PIH in the U.S. Gases. To Emergency Response Guide 216, User Guide content, toxic inhalation materials, isolation, evacuation, distant protective clothing, fire spill clothing, bevel, B-level, Belev, safety precaution, criminal, terrorist, chemical, biological, radio agents, improved explosive device safe stand off distance glossary Canada United States Response Center, emergency response assistant plans, emergency response telephone numbers. Alright, safety precautions. Resisting rush in. Approach cautiously from upwind, uphill, upstream. Stay clear of vapor fumes and smoke and spills. Keep vehicle in safe distance from the scene. Secure the scene, isolate an area, and protect yourself. Identify hazards. Any using of the following: placards, containers, labels, shipping documents, rail car, rail trailer, identification, material safety dashes. Knowing the person on the scene. Consult applicable guidebook. Guide page. Assess the situation. Is there a fire spill or leak? What are the weather conditions of the terrain like? Who and what is the risk of people, property, environment? Actions should be taken. Evacuation, shelter in place in dike. What resources, human and equipment are required? What can be done immediately? Obtain help. Advise headquarters that is not responsible agent that you're to the notify responsible agencies and call assistance from qualified personnel. Respond. Enter one only when appropriate. Protective gear, rescue attempts, and protecting property must be weighed against your becoming part of the problem. Establish a command post and lines of communication. Continue reassess the situation. Modify response accordingly. Consider safety people over the immediate area first, including your own safety. Above all, do not assume the gases and vapors are harmless because of the lack of smell. Odorless gases and vapors may be harmful. You caution handling empty with the containers. They may still present hazard and they are cleaned up and purged and all residual. Alright, notification request for the technical information. Following steps outlined with the organization's standing operation and or local emergency response plan. Obtain qualified assistance. General for the notification sequence. Request for technical information beyond the available. The guidebook shall occur following order. Notify your organization agency based on information provided that will set the motion and series of events. Action may range from dispatching additional trained personnel to the scene to evacuating local emergency response plan. Ensure local fire and police departments have been notified. Call the emergency response telephone number over the shipping document. If the shipping paper is not available, use the guidance under the national assistance. Contact appropriate emergency response agency listed on the inside back of the cover of the guidebook. Provide much of the information hazardous material, the nature of the incident. Agency will provide immediate advice in handling early stages of the incident. Agency will contact shipper manufacturer material for more detailed information necessary. Agency will request on-scene assistance if necessary. Provide as much of the following information as possible. Your name, callback, telephone number, fax, location, nature of the problem, spill, fire, etc. Name, identification number, material involved, shipper, consigner, point of origin, carrier name, rail truck number, container type, size, quantity, material transported, release, local condition, weather, terrain, proximity of schools, hospital, waterways, etc. Injury exposures, local emergency services have been notified. Alright, hazard classification system, dangerous goods, and indicate either by class or division number and name. The placards are identifying the class, division, material. The hazard class and division numbers must be displayed with a lower corner placard. Require both primary and subsidiary hazard class divisions if applicable for other than 7 placards testing indicating hazard. For example, gross does not require text thrown in the U.S. of the hazard class or division number with the subsidiary hazard class division number placed in parentheses when applicable must appear in the shipping document for each of the shipping name. Alright, Division 1-1, explosives that have mass explosion hazards. Division 1-2, explosives that have projection but not mass explosion hazards. 1-3, explosives that have fire hazards, either minor blast hazard, minor projection hazard, or both, but not a mass explosion hazard. 1-4, explosive with a present, not significant blast hazard. 1-5, very insensitive explosive with a mass explosion hazard. 1-6, extremely insensitive articles which do not have mass explosion explosion hazards. Alright, Class 2, gases. Gas 2-1, flammable gas. Gas 2-2, non-flammable, non-toxic gas. Gas 2-3, toxic gas. Class 3, flammable liquids and combustible liquids. In the U.S., flammable liquids, class 4 flammable solids, substance liable to spontaneous combustion, substance which on contact with water emit flammable gas. Division 4.1 flammable solid, self-reactive solid, substances, solid desensitized explosives. 4.2 substance liable to spontaneous combustions. 4.3 substance from the contact of the water emittable flammable gas. Class 5 oxidizing substance organic peroxide. 5.1 organic oxidizing substances. 5.2 organic peroxide. Class 6 toxic substance, infected substance. 6.1 toxic substance. 6.2 infectious substance. Class 7 radioactive material. Class 8 corrosive substances. Class 9 miscellaneous dangerous good hazardous material articles. Word poison or poisonous are synonymous with the word toxic. Or an introduction table marking labels and placards. Use the table only with the ID number and the proper shipping name is not available. The next 2 pages with the display of the placards on the transport vehicle carriers dangerous goods applicable to the guide circle the following steps. Approach scene upwind, uphill, upstream, safe distance, safety in regard. Read placard or orange panel and binoculars if available. Match the vehicle placards on one placard display on the next 2 pages. Consult the circle guide associated with the placard. Use the guide information for now example. Use the guide 127 for the flammable class placard 3. Use guide 153 for corrosive placard class 8 placard. Use guide 11.1. Dangerous goods or placard displayed. The nature of the spilled leak burning material is not known. Guide 1 presence dangerous goods suspected in the placard scene. If multiple placards point more than one guide initially, use the most conservative guide. Guide requiring greatest degree of protective action. 4 guides associated with the placard provide the most significant risk and or hazard information. When specific information such as the ID number, proper shipping name becomes available, more specific guide recommended for the material must be consulted. A single asterisk on the orange black cards representing explosive compatibility group letter. Asterisk must be replaced with appropriate compatible group letter. Refer to the glossary, page 376. Double asterisk orange black cards representing division of the explosive. The double asterisk must be replaced with appropriate division number. These are the table marking labels and markings. Use the table only if the materials cannot be identified. Shows the 111, the 112, 114, 118, and 121, 123, 122, 127, 125, 128, and initial response 134, 136, 138, 134, 43, 140, 53, 158, 163, 153, 171. Alright, your rail car identification chart shows the pressure tank car, and then it slides for flammable and non-flammable toxic liquefied compressed gases protective housing, no bottom fitting, pressure usually above 40 psi. That's at 117. 131, general service tank of car, low pressure, and it shows the top, the bottom, and the side. The sides and the top. Variety of hazardous, non-hazardous material fittings. Valves normally visible at the top of the tank. Some may have bottom outlet valves. Pressure usually below 25 psi. Your low pressure tank, the TC-117 and the DOT 117. Image provided with the courtesy of the Green Bear Companies Incorporated. For flammable liquids, petroleum, crude oil, ethanol, protective housing separated from the manway. Bottom outlet valve pressure usually below 25 psi. Alright, your boxcar, general freight car, barrel bulk, non-bulk boxes, packages, many transport hazardous material, small package total, tote bin, single, double sliding doors, that's 111 for boxcar, 140 hopper car. For bulk commodities, bulk cargo, coal or cement, solid granular materials, bulk car, landing, discharge gravity through the hopper bottom doors with the doors open. Alright, and then it shows a tanker car with report marks, numbers, load limit, pounds, empty weight, placard, tank test, safety test, safety valve test information, car specification, commodity name, permit number, reporting marks, car number, capacity in gallons, out letters, and placard holder. Alright, caution. Emergency response personnel must be aware of the railroad tank cars vary widely in construction, fitting, and the purpose of the tanker cars transported products. They may be solids, liquid, gases. The products may be under pressure for the essential of the product identified with the consulting shipping paper. The train consists of the control, contacting, dispatching concerns before emergency response is initiated. Information stenciled on the side of the end of the cards illustrated above may be used to identify protecting product utilizing the commodity name is shown. The other information shown, especially reporting marks, car number, which when supplied with the dispatch center facilitates identification of the product. Recommended guides should be considered for the last resort. Material cannot be identified or other means. Alright, your road trailer identification chart. Road trailers may be jacketed cross-section and look different. Shown in the external ring stiffeners would be invisible. An emergency shutoff valve commonly found on the front of the tank near the drive door. 117 MC331, TC331, SC3T331. This is for liquid compressed gas, round heads, design pressure for 100 to 500 psi. Your 117 MC338, TC338, SCT338, TC341, CGA341. Refrigerated liquid gas is cryogenic liquid, similar to the giant thermo bottle. Fitting compartments located with the cabinet over the rear of the tank. Maximum allowing working pressure from 25 to 500 psi. Alright, the trailer 113.406, TC406, SCT 306, MC 306, TC 306. For flammable liquids, gasoline, diesel, elliptical, cross-section, roll-over, protection, top, bottom outlet valves, maximum working pressure 3 to 15 psi. Your 112 TC423 for emulsion water gel, explosive hopper style configuration, maximum working pressure 5 to 15 psi. Your dot 407 TC 407, the SCT 307, the MC 307, TC 307, the toxic corrosive flammable liquids crew. Circular cross section may have external ring stiffeners, maximum allowable worker pressure for at least 25 psi. Dot 412 TC 412, SCT 312, MC 312, TC 312. That's 137. Usually corrosive liquid, circular cross section, external ring stiffeners, tank diameter relatively small. Maximum line working pressure 15 psi, and then shows 115 compressed gas tubular trailer, 111 mixed tank, mixed cargo, 134 dry bulk cargo tanker, 117 intermodular tanker, 137 vacuum tanker. Alright, caution, this chart depicts only the most general shape of the road trailers. Emergency response personnel must also be aware of the many variations of the road trailers not listed above. They're using shipping chemical products. Suggested guides are the most hazardous product for the transport of these type trailers. Recommended guides should be considered for the last resort. Material cannot be identified by any other means. Maximal MAW means maximum allowable working pressure. Alright, globally harmonized classification label. The globally harmonized classification labeling is an internal guideline published by the United Nations. The global harmonized system aims to harmonize the classification labeling system in all sectors involved in the life cycle of the chemical production, storage, transportation, workplace use, consumer use, presence in the environment. The global harmonized system in 9 symbols convey the specific health of the environment or hazard information. These symbols are part of a pictogram, diamond shape, with included the GHS symbol with a black and white background, red frame. Pictogram is part of the GSH label, included with the following information: single word hazard statement, precaution statement, product identifier, supplier identification. Your global harmonized pictograms are similar to the shape of the transport labels, however they transport and have backgrounds of different colors. To eliminate the global harmonization, the elements of the global harmonization system address the single word hazard statements not expected to adopt the transport secular for substance mixture covered UN recommendation, transportation dangerous good model regulations, and the transportation labels of physical hazard will have precedence in transportation. Global harmonization system pictogram for the same or lesser hazard. One reflected transportation on the plaque card showing that not present could exist in the package. Example: global harmonization labeling, outer packaging, flammable liquid transportation, inner packaging, plastic bottle with global harmonization warning bottle, single packaging, 200 liters, 55-gallon drum, a flammable liquid transport liquid with global harmonization warning label. Alright, in some cases, such as the drums, inner bulk containers, which must be addressed for the information all sector for the global harmonization system, may be found with addition required with the transportation label and plaque cards. Both global harmonization system and transport will differ in a way that will make them easier to identify them during an emergency. Alright, shows the top left global hazard pictogram, explosive self-reactive organic peroxide. It shows a water hand on water metal skin corrosive serious eye damage. A flammable pyrogenic pyrophotic self-reactor organic peroxide self-heating emitter flammable gas when in contact with water. Explanation point: acute toxicity, harmful skin sensitivity, skin sensitizer, irritation, skin eye, narcotic effect, respiratory tract irritation, hazard to ozone environment. And then the circle with the flame is an oxidizer. The star on the bottom lung is a respiratory centralizer, mutagen, carcinogenic, reproductive toxicity, target organ toxicity, asphyxiation hazard. The gas cylinder is gas under pressure. The tree with shows aquatic environment and hand spill on handstand, corrosive to metals, skull and crossbone, acute toxicity, fatal and toxic. Alright, hazard identification number displayed on some intermodule containers. Hazard identification number utilized with the European and South American regulations may be found on the top half of the orange panel. Some of the inner bulk containers using the United Nations 4-digit identification number is the bottom half of the orange panel. The identification number of the top half of the orange panel consists of 2 3-digits and general digits indicate the following. 2. Emission gas due to the chemical reaction. 3. Flammable liquid vapor gases self-heating liquid. 4. Flammable solid self-heating solid. 5. Oxidizing higher intensity effect. 6. Toxic risk of infection. 7. Radioactive. 8. Corrosive. 9. Spontaneous violent reaction. Note the risk of spontaneous violent reaction with the meaning of the 9-digit include with the possible due to the nature substantive of the risk of explosion, disintegration, polymerization reaction followed by the release, considerable heat, flammable and toxic gases. Double-digit indicate with the intensification of the particular hazards. 3366. 88. When hazard-associated substance canonically identified by a single digit, the digit total followed by a 0. Hazard indication preferred with the letter X indicates that the substances react dangerously with water. Alright, your hazard identification number displayed with the inner module containers. 20, asphyxiation gas, no subsidiary risk. 22, refrigerated liquid gas, asphyxiation. 223. 22.3, refrigerated liquid gas flammable. 22.5, the refrigerated liquid gas oxidizing, fire intensifies. 23, flammable gas. 23.8, gas flaming corrosive. 23.9, flammable gas that spontaneously led to violent reaction. 25, oxidizing, fire intensity gas. 26, toxic gas. 26.3, toxic gas flammable. 26.5, toxic gas oxidizing, fire intensity. 268, toxic gas corrosive. 28, gas corrosive. And that continues to go on. Alright, pipeline. North American hazard material for the commonly transported through the millions of the miles of the pipeline-related structures. Products transported from the natural gas, liquid, crude oil, gasoline, diesel fuel, anhydrous ammonia, carbon dioxide, jet fuel, other combines. Although most pipelines are buried, often they are above-ground structures. Markers indicate presence of pipeline. First responders should be aware. Pipeline jurisdiction product with the transport. Operators responsible to use pipeline protective relation, beneficial, safe, effective management of the pipeline emergency. Type of the pipeline: natural gas transmission pipeline, large diameter steel pipe, transport, flammable, natural gas, toxic, non-toxic, very high pressure ranging from 200 to 1500 psi. Natural gas transmission pipelines odorless, generally not odorized with a recipient or rotten egg smell. However, the natural gas containing hydrogen sulfide will distinct rotten egg odor. Natural gas distribution pipeline: natural gas delivered directly by the customer via the distribution pipeline. These pipelines are typically small diameter, low pressure pipeline, constructed steel, plastic, and cast iron. Natural gas in the distribution pipeline odorized with a mechanic recipient, rotten egg smell. Natural gas gathering, natural gas well production pipeline, natural gas well gathering well production pipelines, collected raw natural gas wellheads, transportation product, gas processing, gas treating plant with the gathering pipelines carrying natural gas mixed with some quantity with the gas liquid waters in some area with the contaminants with the toxic hydrogen sulfide natural gas. And these pipelines is not odorized with the recipient. The rotten egg smell, however, with the natural gas is contained with the hydrogen sulfide with a distinct rotten egg odor. Liquefied petroleum hazard liquid pipeline. Liquid petroleum, crude oil, refined products hazard liquid often transported with a pipeline include gasoline, jet fuel, diesel fuel, home heating oils, carbon dioxide, anhydrous ammonia, other hazardous liquids. And many liquid petroleum pipelines transport different types of liquid petroleum in the same pipeline. To pipeline operators to different product batches. For example, an operator could send gasoline for several hours, then switch to jet fuel before switching to diesel. Other hazard liquid pipelines. Some liquid pipelines transport high volatile liquids, rapid change liquid to gaseous when release pressurized pipeline. Example of the type of liquids include carbon dioxide, anhydrous ammonia, propane, and others. Your pipeline markers. Some pipelines, usually buried underground, marks that indicate that their presence are among the pipeline route. Other three types of pipelines type are buried underground: distribution, gathering, transmission. Other transmission pipelines are marked with the following above ground markers to indicate the route. And this shows these yellow gas line pipeline and markers. Markers warn the transmission of pipeline located area to identify with the product with the transportation line, provide with the name and the telephone number of the pipeline operator to call, marking warnings located with the frequent intervals about along the natural gas liquid transportation pipeline right-of-ways and located with the prominent points such where pipeline intersects streets, highway, railways, and waterways. Pipeline markers only indicate the presence of pipeline. They do not indicate the exact location of the pipeline. Pipeline location right-of-way will vary along the length of the material. The multi-pipeline located same right-of-way. Alright, markers of the pipeline transportation material containing the dangerous hydrogen sulfide, but they have the markers sour or poison. Natural distribution pipelines are marked above ground signs. Gathering production pipelines are often not marked with above ground signs. And then pipeline structures, above ground natural gas transmission pipeline, compressor station valves, metering stations, natural gas distribution pipelines, regular stations, customer meters, regulators, valve box covers, natural gas gathering well production pipelines, compressor strains, valves, metering stations, wellheads, piping manifolds, petroleum and hazardous liquid, petroleum pipeline storage tank valves, pump stations, loading racks. Indication of pipeline leaks and rupture. Pipeline release can range from relatively minor to catastrophic ruptures. And important to remember, gas liquids have differently once they are released from the pipeline. Generally, the following could be indicated of the pipeline leak of the rupture: hissing, roaring, explosive sound, flammable appearing ground, flammable flames appearing on the ground or water, perhaps a very large flame, vapor cloud, fog, mist, dirt, debris, water blowing out of the ground, liquid bubbling out of the ground from the ground and bubbling in the water. Distinctively, usually strong odor of rotten eggs, skunk, or petroleum, discolored dead vegetation, discolored snow above the pipeline right away, oil slick sheen of flowing in the standing water. Our general consideration responding pipeline emergency safety first. Your safety and the safety of the community protect with the top priority. Remember to approach the pipeline inset upwind, uphill with the upstream while using the air monitoring equipment to detect with the presence of explosive with the toxic level of the hazard material. Always wear personal protective equipment. Be prepared to flash fire. Use shield to protect the first responder event with the explosion. Use respiratory protection. Never use the operate pipeline valves except for the coordinate with the pipeline operator. This could make the incident worse or put you and others in danger. Never attempt to extinguish a pipeline fire before supply is shut off. This could result in the accumulation of large flammable explosive vapor liquid pool. Could make incident worse, but you and other dangers. Do not enter the vapor cloud and attempt to identify the product involved. Secure the site, then determine the plan, evacuate shelters place, work with others responders to deny entry, identify with the product and the operator. If safe to do so, you may be able to identify with the product based on the character for the other external clues, look pipeline markers, indicating products, operator pipeline, emergency contact information, pipeline transportation, different types of products, including gas, liquid, highly volatile liquids, the liquid state inside the pipeline, gaseous state released from the pipeline, vapor density, gas, determine the rise, the sink in air, viscosity, specific gravity, important characteristics, hazardous liquids to consider identification of the product as well to help you with determine the appropriate distance isolation of affected area. Notify the pipeline operator. Use the emergency contact information pipeline marker for the contact information you may have received the pipeline operator. Pipeline operator will will resource to you in the response. Establish command post and implement incident command structure as needed, within prepared immediate implement a unified command as additional stakeholders and resources arrive. Other important consideration: if no flames are present, do not introduce ignition sources such as open flames, running vehicles, electric equipment, cell phone pagers, two-way radios, light gauges, guards, or open fan door bells, etc. Abandon the equipment you near of the area of the pipeline. Relief with no restrict with the safety. The other move far enough away with any of the noise coming from the pipeline. Allow with the normal conversation. Pipelines often include with the public utilities, railroads, and highways. These can be impact with the pipeline release and the main potential ignition source. Natural gas migrated underground source release for the other viva the path of the release resistance, including through sewers, water lines, geographical formations. Our consideration establishing predictive the active action distance type of the products. If you know the material to have a 3-digit guide number for looking up the name of the alphabetical list in the blue bordered pages, then using the 3-digit guide number can solve the recommendation and sign guide. Pressure of the diameter over the pipe. The pipeline operator can tell you if you don't already know it. Time of the valley enclosure pipeline operator quickly. Automated values longer than manually operated valves. Dissipation time of the product of the pipeline once the valves are closed, ability to conduct the atmospheric monitoring, air sampling, weather, wind direction, etc. Local variables, topographically, population density, demographics, fire suppression methods available. Nearby guide, construction, material density, natural man-made barriers such as highway, railroads, and rivers, etc. Alright, your U.S. pipeline resources, pipeline location, National Pipeline Mapping System, error ph at phmsa.gov indicates the location of the liquid and gas pipelines in the U.S. The pipelines depicted National Pipeline Gate system are within 500 feet of the actual location. Emergency responder must apply with an National Pipeline Mapping System web viewer. This allows the access more detailed information available to the general public. National Pipeline Mapping System does not contain gathering, production, gas distribution pipelines. U.S. Pipeline Emergency Response Training, appropriate reference pipeline emergency training materials, PHMSA, National Association of State Fire Marshals, training guide at pipelineenergency.com, and NSAFM Pipeline offers thorough overview of the U.S. pipeline operation, emergency response consideration, state jurisdiction, provide training on how to handle the response of pipeline incident. Other release sources, Pipe Association Public Awareness or pipelineawareness.org, U.S. Pipeline Hazard Safety Administration, PHMSA.gov, pipeline101.com, and then the Canadians. All right, the green highlighted entries in yellow pages. For entries highlighted in green for the following steps, there is no fire. Go directly to green boulder pages. Look up the ID number and name of the material. Identify the initial isolation protective action distances if the fire is involved. Also consult the assigned orange guide if applicable. Apply the evacuation information shown under public safety. Note number 1. If the name of the table is shown when spilled in water, these materials produce a large amount of toxic inhalation hazards or poisonous inhalation in the U.S. Gases are spilled in water. Some of the water-reactive material of the toxic inhalation have the material themselves, the bromine, tetrafluoride, tithanol, chloride, and these have their UN numbers 1746, 1836. In this instance, the initial entries over the table 1 for the land-based, water-based spills. If the water-reactive material is not in the toxic inhalation hazard, the material is not spilled in water. Table 1 and Table 2 do not apply. The safety distance will be found with the appropriate orange guide. Note 2, explosives are not individually listed for the ID number because of the emergency of the situation responsible based on the division of explosives not on the individual exposure. For divisions 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 5, refer to guide 112. For division 1, 4, 1, 6, refer to guide 114. And then it goes on. See, here's your green, which means highlight in green for entries. Go directly to table 1 green boulder pages. And then it continues with a list of the identification number, guide, name, and the number. The identification number, guide, name, and the number. And then this goes on for several pages. We'll just keep scanning. And we'll come back with tape 2 when we get to the orange pages, I believe. Alright, that was the yellow pages. Now we're going to go to the blue pages. And we're going to take this note and alright, we'll take the note and we'll cut the tape there.